Hello, sports movie fans, and welcome to Locker Room Flicks Podcast. I am your host, Frank Sullivan, and with me is my co-host and Uncle Frank Darlin. Frank, how are you this morning?
Good. Good day. Good Sunday. Rainy day today, but it's still a good day. I'm not working, so.
Oh, yeah.
But,
nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice sunny day out here for once.
That's
cold,
good.
but
I'll take it. I'll take the sun and the cold any day, man. Any day. Yeah.
Yeah.
You did pretty well, I guess, on some of your stuff.
My sports betting.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey I watched the game and he ended up getting like the last play or so. He ended up getting the yards I need, so I cashed out.
That was nice. That was
some
really
of my
nice.
bets.
Good for you.
The Lions, man, I tell you, they blew that game.
That's a shame, isn't it? Though
going for it twice on fourth down and not getting it when they were in field goal range, mind you.
Can't do that. Not in them games.
They were. I understand him being, you got to be aggressive against his team.
Right.
Because of who they are. However, got to put points on the board.
Got to put points. I know. Even if he missed it.
That was the turning point.
Oh, yeah. If he missed it, I wouldn't have said nothing. I would have said, well, good try. But no, you can't do that. This isn't a regular season game. I'm sorry.
No.
To bring up, real quick, to bring up that point, remember the Seattle game against the Patriots? He throws that pass, remember, and they intercept it, and the game's over. Right in the end.
Super Bowl.
And what did he say? The coach there, he says, "Oh, we do that during the season." Well, this isn't during the season, okay? We do that all the time. It's not you're not playing against the Jets or something. They were horrible that year.
No,
I mean, this is you can't do that all the time. You can't. Not in these big games. I mean,
I think we all realize the postseason is different.
Oh no,
the Chiefs. I don't want to say the Chiefs just barely squeaked their way off in the playoffs, but they kind of did.
Yeah.
The Chiefs did not really show up during the season. Green Bay beat them pretty easy.
Yes, they did. Yeah, I know.
And now it's like all these big stars, Kelsey, Mahomes, now they're coming to play.
Yeah, but even in that game, Lamar Jack, the guy catches the ball. We
you were right.
He gets the penalty.
And then did not show up.
Then Lamar throws.
He didn't show up.
Triple coverage. I can't. When he threw that ball, because he had time. I said he threw it. I said, well, it's a touchdown. He had 3 guys on him. That was horrible. You can't do that, and that's why. And I'll tell you, Lamar, you're not going to get a lot more chances.
You called it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's unfortunately it works like that. You called it. He did not show up.
No. He shows up in that game and beat them. They weren't playing that well.
He just looked like a different QB. He looked like indecisive. And
I know. What are you going to do? That's the way it goes.
But so that was the one bet I had was I picked Chiefs and the Lions. So I had the Chiefs down.
Right, yeah.
And I put like $50 and the payout was like $500 something.
Right.
So I was watching I actually watched both the playoffs games, surprisingly, because I normally don't really consider watching both. But then I'm watching the Lions game, and I was like, you know what? I said, I should just cash out, but they were doing well. I was like, let me just roll the dice.
Right. And
because the cash out option, like during the Lions game, was like $250 or something.
Yeah.
Instead of like $500. So I was like, all right, let me. As soon as they went for that fourth down, and lost it, the payout went down. I was like, you know what? I see where this is going. I just cashed out, and I ended up getting like $120. So I mean, it was a good. I knew they were going to lose. The momentum. They lost the momentum and they lost that game.
So you played the Lions straight up, or you played them with the points?
Money line.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I probably could have did the spread, right?
Yeah.
Because they probably would have been.
Did they cover in the end?
I can't remember. I don't know. I feel like they probably did, but
I forgot if they
should have, would have, could have, right?
Yeah, I know, but that's a shame though. But that play there where you could have tied the game, Frank, tied it, with the field goal. Then it's an even playing field.
Well, even they were up by 2 touchdowns, right. They kicked the field goal,
right.
Then they're up by 3 possessions. You got to have the ball. That's when you really think about like having the ball 3 times, going down the field.
I agree.
It makes the big difference. And now
big difference.
Now they're only up by 2 possessions.
I know.
They got to have the ball 3 times just to tie the game. But
what do you?
That was neither here nor there. I know.
And why do you have a kicker for? That was ridiculous. You might just get rid of the kicker. You don't need him to have anybody kick an extra point.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't get it. I don't care what he said, and I'm not a coach. I don't care. You don't do it in a playoff game. Sorry, you don't do it. And it costs you, and that's it. And you know what? You might never get back to that point again. So.
Yeah, I know. No, I know. I mean, it happens. You see it all the time.
It's hard.
We'll talk a little bit. I was going to talk about the Super Bowl coming up, but
that's fine.
We'll get into that next week when we have we have our special guest.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
That'll be nice. So let's get into the movie here. Go ahead. You want to break the movie down?
Okay, here we go. The introduction to the movie is Secretariat. It was released on October 8th, 2010. It had a budget of $35 million. The opening weekend was $12.6 million, and then it grossed $60 million worldwide. I thought that was pretty good myself.
Not too bad. Yeah.
Directed by Randall Wallace, starring Diane Lane as Penny Chenery Tweedy, John Malkovich as Lucian Lauren, Margot Martindale as Miss Ham, Dylan Walsh as Jack Tweedy, James Cromwell as Ogden Phipps, and A.J. Machalka as Kate Chenery. The simple synopsis: Penny Chenery Tweedy and colleagues guide her long shot but precocious stallion to set in 1973, the unbeaten record for winning the Triple Crown. This was nominated for 7 awards and won 2. It had a runtime of 2 hours and 3 minutes. I watched it on DVD. I didn't know if you had it on here. Where did you watch it?
Disney Plus.
Oh, Disney Plus. Okay, that's right. That's right. It's on there. That's right. I forgot all about
Disney movie.
Yeah. But that's it. It was pretty quick, but I mean, that covers everything. We'll get into it more and more, but this will be interesting here. I got to see what Frank has here. So Frank's 5 fun facts. Take it away, buddy.
All right. Fact number 1. So 5 horses played the part of Secretariat. Trolley Boy was the principal horse was selected by Penny Chenery in the Secretary Look-alike contest in Kentucky. And it also even walked the red carpet at the film's premiere in Hollywood. It's pretty wild to think of that.
It really is when you think about it.
But it's a star, right?
Yeah, it is. Yep.
So the 5 horses, 4 were thoroughbreds. Did I say that? Thoroughbreds.
Yep, you got it. Thoroughbreds.
And a quarter horse were made up with special effects to replicate the 3 White Sox facial stripe and stars. So that was kind of give you an idea. Fact number 2, the racing scenes in the movie were all recreations except for one. The Peakness, which is seen on the old television in the Tweedy family den. That was historical footage of an actual race.
Right, the original one.
You can tell when they're looking at it. It's like this is.
I know.
I could tell. Fact number 3: some of the close-up shots of the racing horses were achieved by attaching lightweight digital cameras to sticks and positioning them close to the horses as they galloped around the track. The horses got so used to it, but the jockeys were sometimes startled by them. So that just gives you how they film,
Yeah, it's a little tricky. If they're not used to that either, those guys that are doing that.
Yeah.
So it does get to be a little, they're not in their comfort zone with that, but I guess it worked out okay, I guess.
Yeah, well, it gives you the good, first person,
shot
of it. And,
I agree totally.
That was like, what we did, Seabiscuit did kind of the same.
Very similar. Yeah, very similar, yep.
Yeah. So fact number 4, the scenes where Penny Chenery couldn't make it to Kate's play. Listens on the phone and collapses and sobs on the hotel bed. Yeah. That was all done in one take. I guess the director Randall Wallace said it was that he was so emotionally involved in the scene that he couldn't have another shot.
Really? Wow.
So, I don't know why. Maybe he had something. Similar to it. I mean,
that was. It was a good scene, though. It was a good scene.
It was, yeah.
She couldn't be
very underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my last fact, and some of them, I guess, whoever's seen the movie or who might already know this, but Penny Chenery was on set for most of the filming. She was absent when she took an afternoon nap, but otherwise was there in the morning and later on in the day. And Penny Chenery was in the crowd as the Secretary wins the Belmont Stakes at the Triple Crown, which at the end they do show her.
Yeah, that was a good scene. That was a good scene. Yes. She must have been awesome for her.
Amazed.
Yeah. And she died about 5 years later. But she lived to be like 98 or something. But that was nice.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine how nice that was to have her to help her with everything, so you could make the movie pretty close to what it was. Authentic. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. You don't get to see that too much in those movies, but
no.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about the characters. I mean, Diane Lane. We've talked about this before. She's a good actress, man. She plays a nice part there as Penny Chenery Tweedy.
You can't go wrong with
I love
Diane Lane. She's a great actress, gorgeous.
Yeah. She looked very similar to Penny too.
She did.
Yeah,
she got to be pushing up there in age too.
Oh,
She's born in '65.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and John Malkovich, I love him.
He's awesome. He plays a good character actor too.
Doesn't he?
You know that?
Con Air, remember he was in that?
He's amazing in Con Air.
He
is. I mean, let's be honest. Nicolas Cage is the star of that movie.
Yeah,
but he steals.
he
steals the movie.
It. I'm glad you feel the same way because he does. Welcome to Con Air.
He absolutely does.
He's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I named James Cromwell because he's a good actor. He's in everything. That's that tall guy. He played Ogden Phipps in it. He's in all kinds of movies. That's why he was in The Green Mile.
This is
Ogden Phipps. Remember the coin toss? Yeah, him. Yeah, he's a good actor.
I just saw him in there's something I literally just watched him in. He's in a ton of.
Oh, he's in a ton of.
Oh, he's in the Longest Yard, the remake.
Yeah, right. Yeah, good actor. Always plays that. I don't know. He's always a little. He's never that
hard. Yeah. Old, he seems like
he's good.
Acting. Is he
very
still
good.
alive?
Oh yeah. I think so.
He's 60. He's 80.
Is he that old?
Probably 84. Yeah, wow. He's born in 40.
He's been around a long time.
Yeah. Scott Glenn's another guy I've seen in a ton of stuff.
Oh, yes. Scott Glenn,
Born Legacy, Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, yeah, another good actor. Yeah, he's up there now, I think, though. He's up there.
I was kind of surprised. I mean, that was kind of her thing, is they killed him off pretty fast.
Yeah.
In the movie.
They did.
But I guess that's just...
Yeah.
You know, you get a big name like him. I expected him to be in the movie that long, but I guess his health is deteriorating.
I know. Then Margot Martindale, that plays Miss Ham, she's played in all kinds of stuff. She's another good character actor. The secretary lady. Mm-hmm. And I mentioned Dylan Walsh only because that's her husband in it. And then A.J. Michalka, I named her too because she was in a lot of scenes. That was her daughter. That was doing all the protesting back in the... Remember what I told you about this? That was during Vietnam.
Yeah, it's a period piece kind of.
You need some heroes, and they got one. That's what they needed at the time. So that's really what this is about. It's not even about it's the whole era and everything. You know, if that happened 10 years after. No, I mean it's still a great story, but
yes,
there was a lot to this. So there wasn't much good stuff going on then. So
yes. I saw there were two other guys I want to mention is Nestor Cenero. He plays Pancho Martin.
Yes,
he plays the guy at the end, kind of talking. He's good. I haven't seen him in much, but the only thing I remember is he was in did a little role in The Day After Tomorrow. He was in.
Yep, and he was also in The Negotiator. He's been in a lot of good. Yep. He's a good character actor. Another good guy. Usually plays a. He was in Arrow, actually, too. I used to watch the show Arrow, and he's a bad guy in that, too. Plays a good bad guy.
Really?
So, yeah. He's an excellent.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. He plays Pancho Martin there, like you said.
Yeah, he was cool. Talking a lot of smack there. Yeah. And Kevin Connolly, who plays one of the reporters, I'm just a big fan of him. He was in Entourage, so
yes,
it's a good
Bill
show.
Nack. He plays Bill Nack in it.
Yes, Bill Nack.
Yes. Yeah.
You know who Bill Nack? Like,
yes, yeah, I know.
He was a big reporter.
Yeah, he did. He's just died not too long ago. He actually, I have on the DVD. It has Penny Chenery talking. It's the extra stuff, and it has Bill Nack on there talking about it too. So the thing is, they were all there. That's the most amazing part about being able to make the movie. So everything that pretty much happened in it, to most part, was probably right to the T because they were there. So that's what makes the movie so well.
See, here's the thing I was going to say is, so this movie is older, and it took place in the 70s, so you know who these guys are. I don't know I didn't know who Bill Nack was.
Yeah, I know, but once again, as I talked to you about this before, this is what we have to do with this. I learn a lot from you, from other stuff that I really don't watch, and that's what you got to do with all this stuff.
Yeah.
I know it sounds stupid. Who cares? Nobody's going to ask you who Bill Nack was. Maybe they will someday. I don't know. But the point I'm making is that's what you got to take from these.
No, it's interesting.
It's good. Yeah. It's history. Like I said, that movie Goon we watched, the first one. I told you about it. What they used to do. It was more fighting and stuff. But I only knew stuff in it because of the ex-hockey players that were in it. So that's the only reason I knew about it. But there is other stuff. The skateboarding we did, what we do down the thing or whatever it was. I didn't know nothing about that. You knew more about it than I did. That's right, but I picked it. But I learned about it, and that's what I try to do when I do these with
you.
Nice. I
try
to learn stuff.
Yeah, no, it's nice the age difference because it's definitely it's good.
Yeah. Now you know who won the '73 Triple Crown. Now, if anybody ever asked you,
didn't a horse just win the Triple Crown? Not too.
Very good, very good. Two horses won it, but the last one was American Pharoah. He won all three.
Okay.
He was a monster. He was a hell of a... And then Justify won it like 2 years before that. But then, let's see. Yeah, so that's it. But then there was a long... Seattle Slew won it, but that was a long time ago. But yeah, you're right. Very good. That was about... I don't know. That's got to be 5 years now. But,
wow.
Now, in the movie, okay, they talk about Sham. Sham was a phenomenal racehorse also. He's the one that was racing against,
racing against,
with, what's his name?
He might was, yeah.
And you got to realize, too, if it wasn't for Secretariat, Sham probably would have won that Triple Crown. You can say that about anything, but yeah. But the thing was, when they talked about the Wood Memorial, that's one of the races in there, where he says, I beat you. The horse that won that race, you probably saw it in your notes, was Anglelight, not Sham. Sham comes second, and Secretariat then Secretariat come third. But Anglelight was the one that she had a lot of dealings with. This is some of the problems they said about this movie they didn't like. It wasn't really with Sham. But Sham was that guy. Once again, Frank Martin, Pancho Martin. He was a very what's that word I'm thinking? Bolsterous person. In other words, big mouth.
Yeah, sure.
And
big mouth character.
That's why they used Sham. That was his major contender. I'm just saying, but that's why they used the Sham thing in there. If you're wondering, so it makes the movie better. Anglelight would have been we would have fallen asleep. The other one.
Yeah.
But yeah. There's a lot.
No, it was cool with the rivalry between them both. It was funny. At the end when it almost looks like they're at like a boxing.
It is. Yeah.
Like a press conference. It was just kind of trash talking each other.
I know.
I thought that was really, really cool.
That's a good. What do you call it? To say that, that's pretty cool. I didn't even think of it that way. That's right. You see it in the box, and the guys will be sitting there.
Yeah, we just see it in a few movies.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, hey, speaking of boxing, we got to give a rest in peace to.
I know.
Our good friend
Carl Weathers
just passed away. Carl Weathers, rest in peace.
And he's been doing commercials and everything.
He's done. He definitely kept.
I know.
Busy in the 2020s and with being in The Mandalorian.
I know.
He's been in a bunch of things, but
that's a shame, man. That's a shame.
What can we do?
Yeah, that's a good shutout. It really is. Sham, unfortunately, supposedly in that last race, I didn't know this. In the last race he raced, the Belmont Stakes, he fractured his cannon bone in that race. Ooh. That's why he pretty much. Remember, he just ended up finishing last in that race. Yeah, and they had to. He didn't know. They didn't put him down. He didn't race no more, but he was retired in July 1973. So so that's kind of what.
Is it true when they were talking about like they race these horses so fast or something, the heart just gives out, like, or so hard?
It does happen. Yeah, it does happen. Yeah, it really does. As you know in the story, there is Secretariat, his heart, and Shams also. When they buried them, their heart was twice as big as most of the other horses. So it's pretty interesting. Yeah, it's a lot of little facts in there. But I'll give you an idea. You just said about we were talking about American Pharoah, okay? He won that mile and a half race in 2:26 and almost 2:27, which is still a good time. Well, here's an example. If he was racing against Secretariat in that race, I'm just saying, you can't really compare it, but he would have been 15 lengths behind when he crossed the finish line. That's how unbelievable Secretariat was a monster. I've never seen nothing like it in my life. Yeah, he was unbelievable. I know you're a horse racing fan, but
no, I know, but he died. He was 19.
19 years old.
He died in 1989, the year I was born.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he died of a hoof. A lot of them do.
Is that what it was?
They die of a hoof infection. Yeah, their hoofs. It's because they don't do anything much. They lay around. And your hoofs get infected.
After they're done,
and they can't do nothing about it. Yeah, so
shame.
How'd you like the scenes in it? I thought the racing scenes were very well done. The way they did the races and everything.
Yeah, excellent. They were excellent at the starting gate. Every time they would bail out. I feel like in this movie, compared to Seabiscuit, they showed a lot more mud and stuff on the jockeys' faces.
Oh, yeah.
You noticed that?
Yes.
They will just... I kind of knew what it was, but like I said, I was trying to just compare it from the Seabiscuit, because we didn't watch that too long ago. And it just seemed there was a ton of more mud. I thought it was cool, actually.
Well, I don't know if you realize it. Like I said, I know you're not a horse racing person, but they wear like 4 or 5... When it's a muddy track, they wear 4 or 5 goggles on there. So what they keep doing is this: keep flipping them off.
They toss them off when they get.
Well, they don't go on the track, but they're hooked to them. But yeah. And remember his first race? That's the race you're talking about, where he finishes 4th. That was a muddy track. That's why that's why he was full of mud. They had to make it realistic. So
yeah. I thought it was cool. No, and that makes sense too, because in the race you're not going to have time to clean your glasses up and just kind of. Pick them up and on to the next pair.
No. And a lot of horses don't like the mud getting kicked in their faces. So that's why you'll see a lot of the horses will go to the side, try not to. Yeah, you got to remember, they're animals.
I thought it was cool at the end. I'm going to the end. The seat when Seabiscuit wins the Triple Crown, the guy is just clean because he just smoked everybody.
Oh, he did. And remember, he never even touches the horse. Never whips him. He doesn't have to. He could have did it in 2:23 probably if he wanted to. And I like with Pancho Martin says, the guy you were talking about. He says, he goes, that's impossible. Those times were insane. If any horse did that now, by the time they got around the turn, they would have just dropped to the back. It's just he was just I don't know what to tell you, but I was very lucky to see that horse. That horse is one of the greatest horses I've ever seen. He has lost, he lost a couple races. But everybody loses. But
I think that's kind of just due to Penny knowing what she had is beginning. We talk about how she lost the coin toss.
She wanted to lose.
And she ended up getting she wanted to lose it. She ends up getting the good horse, mare, what do you call them?
Yeah.
Women.
Yeah, the mare. Yeah, yep.
The mare and give birth to Seabiscuit. Secretariat.
Secretariat. He got out and he stood right up.
I know. It was like we never seen that before.
Yeah. But that was nice with the mother and the father in it. I liked the beginning, how they did that. They showed you how close she was to them. A little trivia.
Yeah, that was kind of my thing. I wish they had more scenes with them together, but I guess they had to kill them off.
Yeah, I know. Well, you're doing 2 hours and 3-minute movie as it is. I mean, they tried to move it on a little bit. But the only thing they didn't show in that, which was I know they weren't going to, is the year before that. 72, Riva Ridge was her horse. Same colors, the blue and white. Won the Kentucky Derby. And then the next race was the Preakness, and it was muddy. He came in fourth, and then he wins the Belmont Stakes. That was the horse that kept the farm going. So you don't see that in the movie, but that's yeah. And Riva Ridge actually raced Secretariat as a 5-year-old, and he was a 4-year-old Secretariat, and Secretariat did beat him. They come in 1-2. But yeah, so I mean, there's a few things you don't know about it. I knew about that but I know it was in here. But and remember, Secretariat still holds the record for all 3 races. No. How many years is that now? 50 years? 50 years, something like that? I don't know, 50 years. That's
close to it, 50.
And I'm going to be honest with you. Every other track record, probably at every track, has been beaten since then, except that one. Those 3.
Wow.
So what does that tell you? It's just it's insane. It's this really gets me excited when I watch this. I get very teary-eyed.
What an animal, but what an athlete.
Yeah, he was rated top 50 athletes in Sports Illustrated. I know people get into that, but they don't like that. But he was. And that's pretty damn good.
How did they figure the sports betting out with that? I mean, like the odds and stuff. I guess is it just? I don't want to talk too much into it, but me about sports betting.
No, that's good. That's good. You bring up another.
So, like, if Secretariat would be like what considered the favorite, or let's say the last race, right? There's Sham, Secretariat, and what? There was like 5 other horses. Or whatever.
Like something like that. Yeah, well, he was 1 to 10.
Go ahead. 1 to 10.
So that means that would have paid $2. The minimum it could pay is the minimum of anything that could pay for a win bet is $2.20, and that's what he paid. There's no horses that are 1 to 10 no more. You'll never see that again, probably 1 to 10. So it's $10 for every $1. It's hard to explain, but so if you bet like I don't know, I don't want to get into it, but if you bet like $100 on it, you would have won $10.
It's not much. So I guess you got to pick the not to say the loser, but the underdog, I guess.
Yeah, the odds. A Sham in that race. Well, if you look at the Kentucky Derby that he wins, he pays $5, which isn't bad. For $5, he pays $5, and I think because Sham was like a favorite too in the race. So if Sham was 3 to 1, you would for a $2 bet you would have got $8. So that's how it works.
Yeah, it's funny.
And then they have the exactas, trifectas, all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
They were talking. He was paying. The guy was going to pay $7 million for Seabiscuit for Secretariat. That's a lot of money for 1970.
That's a real lot of money. Let's see. What's that? 50 years ago? That's probably a couple $100 million today. I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, a lot of money. Now you understand what he ended up doing, though, right? The syndication.
Yeah,
it's a syndicate.
But
they did it's real simple. It takes 2 seconds to explain it. What they did was they get a bunch of owners and people to buy into the horse. That's all it is. She still owns it.
Gotcha.
She owns the horse, but now you got people relying on you. It's like anything else. It's like a race driver.
Yeah.
I think these race drivers, all these people that put their shell on there or mobile, that's what they're relying on.
Sponsor.
Exactly. But that's basically what it was back then. So it worked out perfect for her. So they got their money, she got her money, and everybody was happy.
Everybody wins, right?
Yeah, but the $7 million you were talking, he wanted to buy the horse outright. So it would have been his horse.
Yeah, that I got.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But that's what's in.
Let me tell you something. That again, that's a lot of money, and for a family of 4, or I should say 6.
I know, but she wouldn't do it. She wouldn't do it because
that had to be hard. That had to be hard. I wrote a lot of my notes. A lot of that. The traveling back and forth, because again, this is 1960, 1970.
Right.
They told her. I mean, she's the housewife.
She is.
Did she have a career before that?
I didn't look into that. No. I have no idea what she did. I don't know.
She probably didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't really show that. I think she was just a housewife, yeah. That's a good point.
She was a housewife to go back and forth from Denver to Virginia.
Yeah. That's.
The father had to hold the house, the kids down and work. So.
Yep. Yeah. Now let's get into Lucien Laurin, the trainer.
Yes, the trainer.
How do you like the outfits he had?
I was just going to say that the hat game was on point, huh? He had some crazy outfits.
The 70s. Remember that? It's the 70s.
Yeah.
That you got to remember. And I remember seeing him on the track because he did train after that for a while, and he trained for after a while. And the outfits he used to wear were
crazy, huh?
It was awesome. He was a heck of a trainer. And Ron Turcotte, unbelievable, great jockey. Did she send you the picture?
Yeah. Yeah, she did. You have a signed autograph.
Yeah, it's signed. It's hard.
That's the
Yeah, it's hard to
that's
see.
the picture. That's him winning the Triple Crown.
Yes,
correct?
It is. Yeah,
Nice.
it's signed. Linda got this from me a long time ago. It's signed, but you know how that marker's eventually inside there they
faded.
They fade.
Yeah.
But yeah, here it is. He's winning the. She showed you. It shows the horses behind him. That was cool. I got that.
That's funny.
Yeah, Ron Turcotte then in 1978. He got in an accident on the track. He fell,
I saw that.
And he got paralyzed. And he was paralyzed the rest of his life. He's still alive. He's 82. He does a lot of the shows and stuff.
We saw that in a few of the jockeys when they fall off and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They get severely hurt. It's crazy how when you think about they're not the jockeys it's the horses doing the running, right?
Yes.
But they got to get up there and it's just
100 pounds they are, those guys.
His I know. Looking at the difference between him and Malkovich was just like night. Just towered over. He looked like a little kid.
Yeah, they go through a lot of rigorous training. The jockeys do. Actually, they were rated number one, I think, about 10 years ago for the best athlete, if you want to go athlete of all time, of anybody of any sport. And you got to remember, a lot of them they've had drug problems with a lot of them. It's hard to keep that weight down.
The pills.
Yeah, it's very hard. So it's a tough life. A lot of people don't know all the background, all this stuff. It's a tough life. Everybody thinks you go jump on the horse, you win, and it's great. But it doesn't always work. I've seen guys get killed on the track. They got trampled by other horses. And so it's no fun. It's no fun to see. But yeah, remember we were talking about the other horse there? The trolley boy?
Yeah.
Trolley boy, the horse. The reason they did that is because Secretariat was a very friendly horse. Loved the cameras. That's not made up. That's real. And they had to get horses that people could go and see because a lot of horses will bite you. Horses bite. People don't realize that. So
I've heard of that. Yeah.
So those 5 or 6 scenes, I think he does. You just said it. That's why they got Trolley Boy because he was very friendly, and they made him look very like friendly. Secretariat. But like you said, and then they raced. I guess those were all jockeys in there, all real jockeys, of course.
Yeah.
And Otto, what's his name? Otto Thorwarth. He wrote Secretary in the movie. He's a real jockey from Canada. So all those scenes with him racing.
Yeah, I think I did see that. Yeah,
that's him. Yeah, that's he wrote them. So what an honor to ride. Well, I know it's not Secretariat, but what a ride.
Not Secretariat, but no, it's just an honor to be in the movie. Because movie. Exactly. I mean, Secretariat did so well that you got to have someone who was skilled and it seemed like part of the. I guess one of the big thing was getting the horse right into the starting gate. That's a big
yes. Yep. Yeah.
Big thing, I guess. To get the anxiety.
Yeah. Well, remember, a lot of them are when they're 2-year-olds, like he was in that first race that he comes in fourth.
Yeah.
A lot of them they had never been in a starting gate, so they get a lot of them are tough to get in there. And I didn't realize, one thing I didn't realize and had no idea until I saw the movie. I didn't realize how lazy he was. He sat back in the gate.
He said he's just. Yeah, sat back in the gate. Even they said before he would just eat and sleep all day.
Remember John Malkovich says he couldn't beat a cement truck going or something. He said, "Oh my God, that's funny, man! I'll tell you, that's crazy." Yeah, Bill Mack was good in it. Got to play Bill Mack. Now, what did you say? He's from what? Entourage.
Entourage. Kevin Connolly. Yes.
Yeah, he did a good job in that. About 5,000 bettors in that race never redeemed the $2 tickets. They kept them as souvenirs.
They just kept it.
Yeah, where it paid.
I mean, it's hard. When you see like history in the making like that, you don't get to see it very often. Side tangent. Casey went to. I don't know. We probably might have mentioned it at one point. She saw a perfect game at Yankee Stadium.
Really?
Was it David Cohn?
David Cohn. Yeah, it must be David.
Yes.
Cohn. Yeah.
And I think it was like Beanie Baby Day.
Really?
So they were giving out Beanie Babies, and I think either she or her brother, they still have it somewhere. I mean, who knows how?
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately,
but she was there for the perfect game.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, you don't know. You don't know what you're going to see
when
you're at an event, or you just you know. I mean, perfect games happen, but not very much.
Not very. It seems like defense in pitching in MLB is non-existent in sets sometimes. You see these giant scores 10-12, and I remember back in the day you would see 2 or 3 or 4. You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Yep. You realize the horse was named after Miss Ham, the secretary. That's how they got the name. I don't know if you picked that up. I mean,
they didn't. I didn't pick it up till I knew she named it, but not till the very end you find out.
No, I understand.
She came up with the name.
No, I understand. Yeah, I kind of caught it at the beginning. So, but but I already knew. But it was interesting though. Now remember, no one had won the Triple Crown since 1948. So it was 25 years, a long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then after that, no one won it for a while, right?
Let's see, 73.
You know,
Slew won it. Seattle Slew won it, and Affirmed won it in 77 and 78. So really, it started a what do you call it? And then it was a long time again after that, about 30 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's weird.
Wow.
Some great horses there. But yeah. Now remember too, this horse raced as a 4-year-old, Secretariat. You don't see that no more. You know why? There's too much money to lose. There's too much money to lose. American Pharoah, as soon as he raced in the Belmont, did he race in the Breeders' Cup, I think, in October, and then he was done. Yeah, they put him out the stud. That's where all the money is today.
Oh, wow.
Because if he gets hurt and breaks a leg, or they got to put him down,
that's it.
They lose everything. So, but back then, they raced Secretariat all over the country. He raced on turf, Canada. He raced everywhere. In almost every place he went, he set a track record.
That's crazy.
Horse had a lot of heart. That's what it's all about. The movie. I mean, nothing like that. So, and she took a gamble on him, which I didn't know that until I seen the movie. I had no idea how Secretariat became a race. I had no idea how that worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, no idea. I didn't know she was going to lose her farm.
You know, that was I wrote down a lot of that stuff was whereas they wanted to sell that farm and collect the money and sell the horse and.
Oh yeah,
it was crazy how the husband was not on board for any of this until the very end.
Oh, he jumped on the bandwagon.
The little lady belongs in the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
But you already said it. That's how it was back then. It was your housewife. She was a housewife, and
I know.
But again, they eventually make up for it.
I think we watch it like me and you did, and you look at it and you say, "What's this guy crazy?" But in the movie, he doesn't. I mean, in real life, he doesn't know she's going to win with this horse. So I mean, he really did everything that really made sense. I mean, really, I felt bad for you know what I'm saying? He did.
Yeah, the brother says he's like you're a housewife and I'm a school teacher. He's like, what the hell do we know about running a ranch?
He's right.
He's not
he
wrong.
Was right.
He's not wrong.
No, not at all.
You sell it to whoever and you just collect. I guess, but.
And another big part in the racing, I don't know if you realize it, is the groom, Eddie Sweat. He's the groom. That's the guy that takes care of the horse. That's a big part, and that's a big part.
Yeah.
Linda was saying to me, "Well, he's black." Yeah, Linda. 90% of them were black then. They did that. That was a good job. Those guys got good money for doing that. And
really?
Plus, that was you watch today, even today, 2024. A lot of the grooms are either Spanish or Mexican or black. That's what they are.
Really?
And believe me, they wouldn't give that up for all the money in the world. So I don't want to hear about, racist.
Color and everything. It's
not racist. Eddie Sweat, that was an honor to be there.
It was funny. I was laughing. You would think they would have invited him to watch the game, watch the race with them, but I don't know if that was a race thing or just him being... He wanted to be closer to the thing. You know what I mean?
You mean how he was standing in another spot?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you said that because Linda picked that up. too. Well, he wasn't in the. He was with regular.
He wasn't allowed in the thing, but
he was a regular people though. Yeah, but he wasn't in the. Studio.
No, you're right.
He was a regular people.
No,
but I know.
No, you're right. It wasn't like. It wasn't like he wasn't in like the colored section only. Because I mean, you got to think about it. That was what 70 something, early 70s.
That's a big problem back then. Come on. No, I agree.
And this is what for Virginia, right?
Right, Virginia.
So I mean, South.
Yeah, but you wouldn't even see that today, though. They wouldn't. They wouldn't be even in the stands. They probably wouldn't be. They'd be in there waiting for their horse. They'd be watching it from the barns. They'd be watching it. It wasn't. It's not has nothing to do with the race. It's just that's the way it is. I mean,
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, that was what was that? The last race, right? That was for the Triple Crown.
That was the very last.
I'm sure if the groom was going for the Triple Crown, they probably would have had him. Not with them, but he probably would have been in the crowd watching it. I mean, you don't want to miss that.
No, I know.
But
like I said, it's just one of those things we just when we do these kind of like these period movies, it's something to think about.
It is.
It
is. Yeah, a tough time. Yeah.
Let's see here.
And then I don't know if you notice a couple of his riders that are in it in real life. Mm-hmm. The riders that ride the horses, that warm them up. They were also two black gentlemen that did. I forgot their names. They were in the interviews that I was listening to. Yeah, and they loved it. They know the horse. They know what that horse can do. It's amazing because they're on him. Mm-hmm. They're on him training him. They know the heart that they have. How about when she looks in his eyes and she says, "He's ready."
That was a cool scene. Yeah,
that was a cool scene.
There was a cool scenes of just her and the horse just kind of just together.
Let me see what I got here. If I got anything else.
I know. I'm trying to look. I think we talked about most of the stuff. Coin toss.
Well, let's just go over where it was raced. Part of the film was shot on location, both Louisville and Lexington. I don't know if you said this. Kentucky.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, Kentucky for 3 weeks, then moved to Louisiana to reproduce the Triple Crown infields at Evangeline Downs, located in Appaloosa, Louisiana. So that's So I guess that the final race was in Evangeline Downs. It wasn't at Belmont Park. So now they couldn't get Belmont Park, I guess, for it. So they
imagine it probably would have cost a lot of money.
Oh yeah. So they did race it there. And I don't know if you realize this. Belmont Park is the only track in the world, in the U.S., not in the world, that has a 1.5 mile track. I've been there. So in other words, you go
long track.
But most tracks you want to go 1.5 miles, you have to go around the track and then go around half of the track. This it's one circle. Yeah. So
one loop. Huh?
Yeah. Wow. So I've been to Belmont, I've been to Aqueduct, I've been to all those tracks. So it's pretty cool.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. And I was at that, and I've been at Churchill Downs. I was there where all the horses walked through and everything. So. That's for me. It was a really cool movie to watch. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, though, when you watch these,
it's cool. It's cool to see the passion you have for this. Where do you think it came from? Did you just grow up watching this?
Well, 1971. I saw Cannonero. This is on TV. I saw it, so I was 10.
Yeah.
I saw Cannonero the second win the Derby, and then I really didn't watch much more. And then 72, I watched Riva Ridge win, lose, and win, and then. I couldn't miss Secretariat watching him. I had no idea who he was, and then I watched it, and that was it. And I was hooked ever since.
You just got hooked and fell in
love. My stepfather was into. We used to go to the track and stuff. My stepfather used to take us to the track in Vermont, Green Mountain, and I loved horse racing. But I wasn't a what do you call it though. I mean, I'm a $2 better. I go and have fun. I love horse racing. I love to watch it. I love harness racing. That's the trotters, the guys on the buggies. Yeah. I love that stuff. I really do. I mean, now it's like. Once in a while, I'll play something. I played a couple races, but it's not, But I would still want to go to the track. So, I mean, I'd like to go to the track again. I haven't been there in a while, but I love it. I really enjoy it. I like the history of it.
I've never seen an actual race like that. It should be cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool when you're there. It's exciting. Yeah, yep. But,
it seems like it's like one of those you got. It's cool to see live rather than on TV.
Yes, exactly. And Pancho Martin. Which is Frank Martin. I don't realize if you knew that. It's Frank Martin. And he had a brother, I can't remember. When I was growing up, once again, in the 70s, those were your top trainers in New York, his brother and him. So that's how I know them. So, I learned all that stuff. I know all the jockeys from back then, so that's how I learned all this stuff, But, I enjoyed it.
Cool.
Yeah. And now they're all gone, and there's all new people now, so it took over.
On to the new people, right?
On to the new people, to the Frankie Sullivan people now.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, you were one of the little kids watching the Secretariat race in 1971.
But yeah, but it was. I loved the movie. I thought it was very well done. So, yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into the ratings since I don't know if you want to talk about anything else.
No. I think we're good. We covered pretty much everything. Yeah, I think we did it. I think we did really well.
You want to go first because you said you seemed like you loved this movie. So IMDb gave it a 7.2.
7.2.
Yeah. Trying to see. Seabiscuit gave Seabiscuit an 8. Seabiscuit was a 7.3.
Oh, is that what they gave it? Okay.
That's what IMDb gave it, yeah, and we both ranked it an 8. So is this this movie better than Seabiscuit?
I don't want to do it that way. I know what you're saying.
No, I know.
I mean, to me, it's more heartfelt. Well, they're both good. But I think I'm going to go pretty much.
Both true stories, too.
Both true stories. Yeah, probably the only ones you're ever going to see on TV, in the movies. I don't think you'll see anybody else. But, one other thing I did want to say, when I went to Kentucky, to the Churchill Downs, they have the Triple Crown. They have the Triple Crown trophy of Secretariat in there. In the museum. Yeah, so I got to see that. Yeah. That was pretty cool. Well, I got mine real simple. I'm gonna. You can do yours. I'll do mine. I'm gonna give it an 8. I'm gonna give it like I did the Seabiscuit. I could have went higher, but 8 is good. I don't want to go too far. I don't want to get sentimental because it's not right. I'm basing it on the movie.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna give it an 8. Mm-hmm. That's what I would give it. Yep.
All right. I enjoyed the movie. I don't know. It's kind of. I guess I don't enjoy it as much as you do. So you love the sport.
Yeah.
But I mean, the cast was pretty, spot on.
Yeah. Yep.
It was different too because cast wise, I mean, again, it's all evolved around the horse, around Secretariat. Whereas Seabiscuit, Seabiscuit, you got Tobey Maguire and everyone else.
Yes, right. Exactly.
So I said, I kind of enjoy that movie more.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go a little bit lower. I'm gonna go like 7.5.
Yeah, that's fine. That's a good.
So like I said, I enjoyed it. 2 hours, it was perfect. You wouldn't want it any longer.
Yeah, it was good that way. Yep.
That's where I'm gonna go. All right, so we have next week. We are going to watch The Little Giants. That'll be our Super Bowl movie. That'll come out Super Bowl Monday. So
right.
Super Bowl should be a good game, I think. We'll talk more about it next week, and we should have a guest on. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, the only thing is when we do the thing, I don't think we're going to do it. You're going to do a Super Bowl Sunday morning?
I don't know. We have to talk
I don't know. I don't care. I'll be here, but I'll be here.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't care. So
we'll figure. I'll be here at 9 in the morning too. I think.
Yeah. So just ask.
I don't know. We'll figure that out.
Yeah. See when he wants to do it. So that'll be.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting, but that'll be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, should be forward to that. Should be a good game.
Yep.
And I guess we'll touch base. Anything else you want to discuss? Talk about?
No, that's it. We're good.
All right. Sounds good. That's the ball game.